This week, we're talking about some unfortunate Microsoft shortages, the transition from the Switch to Nintendo's next system, and more, as we, together, as a people, take it out! And welcome to another sensational Sunday. I'm Mike, and I'm here to bring you the gaming news. Normally, I would start off by usually walking or hopping over to the screen, but I actually hurt my foot in a very stupid way 2 days ago. So there will be very limited movement right now. I'm not moving or jumping or anything. Definitely not jumping. I can't jump. It's not really my foot, it's my big toe. My left big toe, I landed on in a very stupid way, and my body weight just came down on it like this, and it's horrible. But I'm still here to bring you gaming news. And the first thing we're gonna hop into is the unfortunate news about Microsoft. If you're trying to find an Xbox Series X controller right now, good luck, because there is a confirmed shortage. So Microsoft came out and confirmed that they are having supply issues with controllers. I know that we're towards the end of the chip shortage, but there's still gonna be issues because of COVID and everything that happened with factories closing down, etc. And then there's more outbreaks. So there's still a chance that we might still see more shortages. And this is just kind of one of those examples. At least it's the controller and not the system. I mean, the systems are, of course, still hard to get, but it's a little bit weird that it's just a controller. But if you're looking for one, you might have to wait, which sucked because I looked at the Pride Edition controller and I was really thinking about buying it, but never mind. I mean, luckily we just bought 2 Xbox Series X controllers like a month or so ago. So we got ours before they became hard to find. But if you are looking for one and you can't find one, that's why you can't find it. You know what else is hard to find? The Tony Hawk remasters. Like, we got 1 and 2. Well, where's the rest of the remasters? Well, I got good news and bad news. And the good news is we have an answer to where the remasters are. The bad news is that's not good news. So Tony Hawk was on a live stream with a former game developer, and he was talking about the whole situation. Tony Hawk basically said 3 and 4 were supposed to be in development, which makes sense because 1 and 2 remaster were super well received. They sold super well, but what happened? Well, Vicarious Visions, the ones who did the remaster, they got absorbed into Blizzard, and basically he said as a result of that, the games kind of got scrapped. So they tried to find another studio in Activision to kind of take over the project, but they weren't really impressed with what they presented. So for now, basically, the remasters have been shelved with Vicarious Visions going away. He said it's possible that they could come back in the future, but it really sucks. Like, I was really looking forward to getting more of those Tony Hawk remastered and possibly even like a Tony Hawk Underground, but it looks like it might not be happening anytime soon because of Vicarious Visions getting absorbed into Blizzard. So R.I.P. to the Tony Hawk Remastered. If you're wondering why we haven't got anything after 1 and 2 or heard about anything, apparently that's the reason why. Another thing we have to ask ourselves why about is why is Bungie suing a YouTuber for $7.6 million? So yes, Bungie is suing a YouTuber by the name of Lord Nazo for $7.6 million for basically impersonating the company CSC Global, which is the company that they hired to do copyright protection for things like YouTube. So this YouTuber, right, they got a DMCA violation for music because they're a Destiny 2 player. So they got a DMCA violation from CSC Global for one of their videos. And, you know, instead of reacting in the way that a YouTuber normally would, which I have gotten one too for my Star Wars video, and basically that video, I left it up, but it can never be monetized because of the music, which is fine. As a YouTuber, a lot of times they'll either let you leave it up or they take the money for it, or they'll tell you to take it down. That's pretty much how most people will react to it. This person instead decides to impersonate the company and issue DMCA takedowns to other Destiny 2 YouTubers. They even sent CSC Global emails basically trolling them. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea, but they issued apparently 96 DMCA takedowns using the CSC Global name, like impersonating them. This person, I'm not sure if they're a bigger YouTuber or not, but I'm gonna guess that they probably don't have $7.6 million. So I feel like a lot of this is probably just to scare them. But yeah, it's really stupid. And apparently he even issued these violations without even using a VPN or anything, like from his own IP address. He didn't even put any effort into trying to hide like his IP address or anything. So I guess that's a lesson, like, don't try to impersonate a copyright holder, or that copyright holder might sue you. Well, it's gonna be a hard transition from that story to our next and final story, which is about Nintendo transitioning from the Switch to their next system. So CNET has an interview with Reggie Fils-aime, former president of Nintendo America, And they were talking about various things through the interview. Of course, the headline that grabbed my attention was Reggie thinks it's going to be difficult for Nintendo to transition from the Switch to their next system. And reading the article and reading his quotes, what he's saying is it's not going to be tough as far as them trying to decide, the naming scheme and everything, because, that bit them with the Wii U. But from a business standpoint of going from a successful system to a system that's more successful, and he pointed out, there's been very few times where that's been done. So he pointed out transitioning from, the Game Boy to the DS, or from the PlayStation to the PlayStation 2, where you had a system that was really successful, and then the successor to that was even more successful. And I thought about it, and I was like, I guess from that standpoint, yeah, he's right. Because even if Nintendo does a Switch 2 or whatever they decide to call it, the Switch U, if they go back to the U name like they did with the Wii U, which was very successful, even if they do well, it's going to be hard to do better than what the Switch did. And I'm like, yeah, when you think about it, we went from PS2 to PS3, the PS3 struggled out of the gate because of the price point and the fact that they didn't have any games. And then later in the generation, they caught up to the Xbox 360, but the Wii really won that generation, and the PS3 still didn't beat the PS2 sales-wise. Of course, the PS4 did beat the PS3, but still didn't reach the heights of the PS2. It got close, but it still wasn't a back-to-back success. So if they went from the PS2 to PS3 and the PS3 passed the PS2 in sales, and then the PS4 surpassed that, then that would be a continued success. And it really hasn't been done that often. So that's the standpoint that he's coming from. Of course, me personally, as a fan of the Switch, I just always wonder if they're going to run into that Wii problem where the Wii was super successful, but they sold to a more casual audience who didn't realize the Wii U was a new system, and also the Wii U was a horrible name. And I feel like a lot of people thought it was an add-on or something like that and not a new system. So I do think they should just call it the Switch 2 or just go with a completely different name and make sure that they're clear in their advertising and marketing and on the box that this is a new system with better graphics or whatever it is to really make people understand why they need to buy it. But I'm hoping they don't run into that problem again. And it'll be interesting to see if they can be more successful than the Switch. It is going to be really difficult. I do agree with that aspect that Reggie said. Even if they're successful, even if they sell 100 million Switch 2s, it's probably going to be hard to surpass what the Switch has done. And for me, it's going to be hard to surpass the greatness of that last story, so I'm just going to bring this video to a conclusion. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you worried about the Xbox controller shortage? Are you upset about Tony Hawk 3 and 4 Remake not coming anytime soon? Do you think Bungie is justified in suing that YouTuber? And what do you think is going to happen when Nintendo finally tries to transition from the Switch to the next system? Again, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification to get notified when I drop a video. And always do at least 2 things at the same time.